welcome to another episode on NITKS, where we talk gaming, anime, music, and marijuana at its best. And today it's not gonna be more say a episode, but more like a review. And we're going to be reviewing today the upcoming game Space Marines 2. Now, if you're familiar with when I say Space Marines, you should automatically think Warhammer 40K. Warhammer 40K has been around. I didn't know. I did not know Warhammer. I've always seen Warhammer stuff around, but never indulged in it because I've always thought it was Dungeons and Dragons type. But come to find out, it's a little bit more, and it's very, very much full of lore, and the base of it is so in depth and deep with just all this amazing stuff or whatever. But we're gonna be focusing on the upcoming game, Space Marines 2, releasing September 9th, and if you pre-order, you probably get it on the 5th. But jumping into it, Space Marine 2 is a follower of 2011's Xbox 360's classic Space Marine 1, where we saw or got introduced to Lieutenant, no, not Lieutenant. He wasn't a lieutenant in Space Marine when he was a captain. But we got introduced to Captain Demetrian Titus. He was the main protagonist of Space Marine 1. And in Space Marine 2, this Demetrian Titus is back or returning. But he got some things happen to him where he had to get demoted. Now in Space Marine 1, basically they were fighting orcs then or whatever. I could go deep into the Space Marine, like what are Space Marines, but I won't. I'm just gonna do it real light. But Space Marines are the soldiers or the golden boys of Warhammer, the Warhammer 40K story. You know, there are different groups in Warhammer, like your Ties, your Nexiums, of course your Space Marines, your Xenos and stuff like that. But we are literally staying in the form but we're really talking about the Golden Boys, and that's the Space Marines. Space Marines are genetic. They are human, but they have things they have different organs, or they have at least 19 to 20 organs put in them as childs, so they can fit the role of the Space Marine. These Space Marines hold big bolt guns, wear heavy armor, but they move in them like none other. Like they move like it's just like a regular suit or whatever. But yeah, Space Marines, and on the cover, like the four-face Space Marines, as you're gonna see with the game, is the Ultramarines, which is the same as with the Space Marine 1. The Ultramarines are literally the pretty boys of all of the Space Marines. I forgot to say there are at least 20 pre-heresy. There are 20 legions. That's what they was called. They have 20 legions. Shout out to the Raven Guards. You heard 20 legions. Somewhere along the line, half of them went to the Chaos. That's our Horus Heresy. Basically, 9 of them turned bad, fucked up the Empire, but they still lost. And after post-heresy, it turned from legions to chapters. And Ultramarines having the most chapters or whatever. So they're just the Ultramarines are just the like pretty much the, how can you say it? They are literally the schematic of what a good Space Marines is or whatever. But back to the review, Space Marines 2, like I said, is gonna be a follow-up of the 2011 Space Marine 1, which the story is 100 years after the story. Like when you see, like if you played Space Marines 1, that lad when Dimitri and Titus got on that plane, 100 years later, this is where Space Marine 2 kicks off. Alright, so it's gonna be the return of Captain Demetrius Titan, but he's gonna be a lieutenant after everything that happened, which I will explain a little bit more. There's gonna be a new enemy. It won't be the orcs. It's gonna be the Tyranids this time, which are they like roaches. That's pretty much what I can say. They're like roaches with a mix of ants. It's just millions of them, and how they roll and do their thing. It's just they are controlled by one big hive master or whatever, however you want to say it. But yeah, the new enemy would be tyrants, and it looks like a good crisp. So far, just what I'm seeing there, it's gonna be a good crisp look with some classic action. Just your regular. Like I said, if you played Space Marines 1, which I didn't, this is gonna be crazy. I didn't play Space Marine 1. I did play the demo. I literally got my Xbox 360 down here. I just played Space Marine 1 maybe one time. I still haven't played it through. I'm also going to do a playthrough of Space Marine 1 a few days before it drops on the 5th, because I got it pre-ordered already. I did get the gold edition or whatever. But I am gonna do a playthrough of the storyline just so you guys can see what the graphics and the design and what it was all about in Space Marines 1. Which to me, honestly, Space Marine 1 is a very hard game, and I'm playing it on normal, and it's freaking hard or whatever. But back to Space Marines 2. It looks great as far as what I've seen, as far as the action, the fighting, just the storyline, as far as what comparing to Space Marine 1 looks totally great. It's gonna be heavy co-op play on all modes, from the campaign mode to operation mode to the eternal war mode. Operation mode being PvE, eternal war mode being PvP. So basically multiplayer against other players, and PvE is players versus everything or whatever. What I also like about, or what I've seen so far in Space Marines 2, is going to be a deep customization as far as for your Space Marines. Like I said, Space Marines are vast. There are 20 legions that got broke down to almost 1,000 chapters. So when I say the Ultramarines, that's a legion, but post heresy, it got broken down to chapters. So this one legion has maybe 75 to 100 different chapters or whatever. Just the same as with the Raven Guards, the Iron Fist. They all have their own. They have their brand, but they have chapters now. And in Space Marines 2, the customization will allow you to build your favorite. Whether you're old or if you're old, I'm pretty sure. If you're an old fan, you're probably going to be diehard with your class or with your chapter or whatever. As far as colors and stuff like that, color schemes and stuff like that. Of course, you might have one or two, because they're gonna allow free customization for your characters completely. So you'll be able to dress them up how you want to. So I'm pretty sure some might have a different, because I'm definitely with the guys. We're going to have our own chapter. Don't know, pretty much probably gonna be the Hide Up Ninjas. But I don't know who our chapter legion is gonna be. I'll probably just be an unknown chapter, and basically be just different Astartes, because that's what, see, a Space Marine in Warhammer is considered an Astarte, Adaptus Astarte. That's what it is in the books or on the game. That's what they're called. But Space Marine is what we call them. But I'm pretty sure the gang or Bug. When I say gang, I'm talking about the homies Bug, J Lee, Jet. I'm pretty sure they're gonna. I'm trying to get them to do a quiz so they can find out exactly what a starting chapter they're gonna be with, because I don't want them to come into the game and just go off aesthetics. Because that's one matter of fact, I'll talk about that when it comes to the pros and cons that I got set up. But yeah, back as far as the customization, it's like it's gonna be in depth as far as your build of your Space Marine to your weapons. With the perk system and stuff, you'll be able to build the perfect type of soldier that you would like to go into combat with. And speaking of the Space Marines, they're gonna offer 6 different classes to pick from. You're gonna have tactical, assault, vanguard, bulwark, heavy, and sniper. I believe my main is gonna be assault, just going off of my chapter or my legions, which is Raven Guard. I said it once. Raven Guard. It's either gonna be assault and sniper. Like, even though I don't want to play with sniper, just with me being me, going off of my legion's lore or whatever, we are heavy. We Raven Guards are heavy in the stealth or whatnot. So I'm going in the jetpacks and stuff like that. So more than likely, assault and sniper will be my two bases. But I am going to probably build a bulwark or a heavy, just to compensate for when the homies play, because we won't be able to play as the same characters. Like, if I pick assault, Bug or J Lee can't pick assault. They will have to pick somebody. They will have to pick a different So just to mitigate that with the homies, you're gonna have to try to set up different classes or whatever, just to get the gameplay going. Because I'm pretty sure everybody's not gonna want to play as one. Like I said, I'm gonna be switching between assault and sniper. But when the homies play, it's go all depend. Just going out the reviews of what all I've seen. This could be potential game of the year. This could be a runner-up for game of the year. Following behind Helldivers and stuff like that. That's one thing I wish would have happened though. With Helldivers being a PlayStation only game or a PC game, I really wish like Microsoft could have hollered at Warhammer or Game Workshop and got exclusiveness to Space Marine 2 and made it so where it's kind of like Helldivers, because this is going to be the Helldivers competition. Space Marine 2 is going to, as far as co-op and togetherness is concerned, it's going to be Helldivers rival or whatever, which I think is still going to blow them out. And I haven't played Helldivers. I hate to say it, but I still have to give me a PlayStation 5 so I can play Helldivers, because I do want to play that game or whatnot. But so far, even though I haven't been liking so much of the gameplay or whatever, because I think with the few people that I've seen, I think it's like seven or 9 people who I think they giving game codes to. to actually play the game, which I also think is a lie. I hate to say lie like that, but I also think it's a story or whatever. Simply because a few months ago there was a big leak of Warhammer, of Space Marines 2, basically where the developers, they got a year of their material and put it together and just try to see how it looked so far, and that gameplay got leaked or whatnot, and at least 500 people got to play that part. So just for future references, if you guys do get Space Marines 2, just know when it comes down to multiplayer, it's gonna be at least 500 people that are already maxed out, already just beasting, just as far as their character is concerned. Back to the reviews of what I've been getting on YouTube and from the guys that do who have been showing their gameplay. I think it's too much. I honestly think they should have did it like back in the day. Throughout like just a bit throughout a demo, because they said they was gonna do a demo of Space Marines 2, but they took it back or whatever. But probably for the leak, probably. But like Space Marine 1, when I played the demo, because like when I look with Xbox Series X, you still have your old stuff that you dealt with when playing the games. I remember playing the demo on it, and the demo was short and sweet. You played literally not even 5, maybe 3 minutes of gameplay in 2 stages, and it's just basically letting you know or getting the feel of what you have to deal with. Right now, the reviews, they are playing literally 1 full mission in the campaign mode, 1 full operation mission in operation mode, which I think is too much, because I think it kind of dulls the feeling down for other people, for consumers who want to play it. Like, it leaves no surprise to them or whatever. Like, we literally know what to expect. Even though they can always throw some more in there, we literally know what's coming as far as the gameplay and all of this. Like, I don't think they should have displayed all the chapters. They just should have left it maybe with the Ultramarines and made it so where people are like, oh, what other chapters are gonna be in the game? You know, like I literally just seen a video where they said every last one that's just gonna be in there, and this is gonna be the loyalist legions or whatever. All chaotic are gonna be in there, but you can't play with the chaotic the Chaos Marines in the campaign mode. You can play with them in multiplayer though. But they should have done that better. Also with the weapons, they should have never put in or showed all the weapon customization and stuff. Like, some things you should hold out. Like they really did Space Marines 2 like females do now. Like, they literally just put everything out to show and never give us any kind of, don't hold any mystery to it. Like, the only mystery now that we have with Space Marines 2 is like the DLC and the other missions and stuff like that. But so far, we can see how the gameplay is gonna be. But that's just my opinion. It still looks like it's gonna be a great game, full of co-op. I hope all my boys can get it, so we can be high up, coming through that bit, knocking off tyranids' heads or whatever. But now, with that being done, I'm gonna go into some pros and cons of the game. For me, what I think is gonna be, you know, like the good and the bad of it, which like I said, since I've heard of the Space Marine 2, I think in May, I've literally been on all the lore. all of whatever happened from the beginning to right now, what's going on in Warhammer, I have literally been reading and listening to. I know all of the legions. I know and their Primarchs. I know about the post heresy and the Horus heresy and stuff like that. There's still things that I don't know that I have to get into. Before I get into the pros and cons, there's a crazy story. My job literally sent me to the Games Workshop out here in Houston. I had to literally fix their air conditioner. I got the work order, and I saw Games Workshop, and I'm like, what? Like, I'm trying to, like, because I remember seeing it through, like, when you're looking it up, they're not going to say Games Workshop. It's going to say Warhammer. So I'm looking at it, and I see the address. I put the address in, and you know when you put the GP with the address and you pull it up, it's going to have whatever business is there or whatever that is. And lo and behold, biggest day, Warhammer. And I'm still trying to bring it in, get it in that they finna send me to this store or whatever. And lo and behold, I pull up and it's the Warhammer store. Like, I walk in, it's hot as hell, of course, because I'm there for an AC call, but it's people in there actually playing the tabletop game. Like, you got I got pictures and stuff that I posted, but you got your big Space Marines, you got everything that you painting and everything that you want dealing with Warhammer is in that store. He even gave me after fixing that AC, they even gave me a little figurine. He's a flamer though. He's not painted. He's a great character or whatever. So I haven't got him painted yet. Don't know how I'm gonna paint it, or more than likely it's gonna be part of the Raven Guard. But I have been so in depth in finding out everything I need to know about Warhammer. It's crazy. Like, if you was to go to my IG, not my IG, but my YouTube, and you know how you got your algorithm or whatever, everything on it is saying you got your few videos, you got your anime, but most of it is Warhammer lore, tell you, like, it's real in depth. But back to Space Marines 2 and the pros and cons. I think I'm gonna go with the cons first, just to not end this on a bad note. Even though you can't. I don't think you can end Space Marines 2 on a bad note, because it's just so much in there. But first on the cons, if you know anything about Space Marines or Warhammer, the Space Marines usually run in 4-man teams, but on here, even though on Space Marine 1, Captain Titus it was 3 of them. It was Titus, his close friend, and the bitch ass nigga that got him sent to the Inquisition or whatever. Lydell, I think his name. If I could see him right now, I'd punch him in the shit. But that's one thing they took from it. They said that 4 people or 4 Space Marines just would have been too messy or whatever, but it doesn't matter. They should have, like, a lot of games don't give off that 4-man co-op except for Call of Duty right now, which is, they do quad based, but we're speaking straight Warhammer lore. They could have stayed with that as far as the 4-man team. The next thing, I don't think in the game they're gonna really give off chapter background stories, as far as, like, you know how in most games you can go to a character and it'll tell you their story and everything, where they from and stuff like that. I don't think they're gonna have anything like that. Like, the Raven Guard and just having their Primarch, their story unfold or whatever, like, just where you can read about them somewhere. I don't think they're gonna have that, because with it being so many chapters, that'll just be too many words. But if it is in there, 2 thumbs up for me, because I love that type of information. Just like, ooh, what is this? Who is this guy? Where's back? Where he from? So you can kind of build a personal relationship with it. Also, in the cons, there will be no personal character creation. Like, yes, you will be able to customize your soldier or your space marine, but as far as when you take your helmet off, you won't be able to create that guy, which I wish they would have, because each class, the Tactical Assault Vanguard, when you take their helmet off, they're gonna be a different character, but they should have had it so what we can create our own face, because some of us were kind of, especially the ones who are familiar with Warhammer, we kind of know how these guys look and kind of like the things that they can do to enhance themselves as far as scars and stuff, or just boosting of brain power and stuff like that. That would have been nice, so we could have got those needles in the back of the head, or just creating our own character or whatever. I don't want to go into a match knowing not, and I'm not trying to sound any kind of way. I don't want to go into a match. I don't want to go playing as a white man, but I could have just created myself and been that or whatever. But no point attended, nothing, no hate, no shade. Also in the cons, as far as creating your soldier, all of the chapters kind of look the same, besides color. Like, all the tactical, regardless of whatever chapter that you go to, that Space Marine is kind of going to be the same. You know what I'm saying? Besides when you just go into changing the shoulders and stuff like that. But pretty much, like, as far as, because the Space Marines, their chapters, they usually have something different on their chest part. Rather with Space Marines 2, it's going to be basically on all classes, the skull with the wings or whatever. Which, like, I'm gonna speak on Raven Guard because that's my legion. The Raven Guard, they have the Raven skull head with the wings and stuff like that, as well as their helmet is has a beak. But I'm gonna get into that when we go to the pros, as far as like the potential. But yeah, like all the characters kind of look like, creating them gonna look kind of like the same. Only thing you can hope for is that nobody kind of builds the same kind of guy that you build. So like when you playing a PvP match, you may be an Ultramarine with certain kind of designs, but you might meet another guy from a different chapter from the Iron Fist, and he used every spec that you use except for the color. Rather, when if you're blue and he's gonna be gray, so that I kind of think that kind of sucks or whatever. But like I said, there's potential, and I'll talk about that in the pros. Also, what I've seen as far as the reviews as well is the classes have limited builds, and when I say limited builds, I mean they're gonna come with a certain amount or a certain type of gun. Melee weapons. Some may not be able to even use melee. Some can't use heavy guns. Like, it's gonna be like that, and which I think sucks, because I kind of want to build my own weapon. Like, I want my character to have its own kind of personality. Like, the chain sword and the bolt pistol. You know what I'm saying? Just like, or the bolt gun. Like, I kind of wanted that, or the power sword, or even two chain swords would have been nice. I would have never mind just going in there dual wielding, and that would have been something very cool. Also, like, they have the power fist as well. It's just gonna be hard to create builds as personal as you want them to be. But hey, there ain't no telling what they can do. But so far, that's the only thing I can see as far as being the cons or whatever. On my part. As far as the pros, what I'm liking that it's a continuation, or they're using the same character from Space Marine 1, being Dimitri and Titus. The lore is there as far as the design and how it looks and stuff like that. That's a plus. Like, it's there. The lore is there. The customization, even though it won't be too personal, it's full-fledged. Like, you really will be able to change every aspect of your Space Marine. You'll be able to create them however you want to, which is always good with me, because I'm a good RPG fan, and in RPGs, most of the time they're in-depth with customization and character building, and that's what I like. I like the design. Like, so I already know my first soldiers, I'm gonna spend some time just getting them right. Also, by the way, I think I said it earlier, all my soldiers are gonna be Raven Guard. You won't see me in no other color, except you will see an orange somewhere, unless I'm playing with the homies and we're playing in our hide up Space Marine colors or whatever. So I'm pretty sure that'll happen. But for the most part, I'm playing Raven Guard only. I doubt I unlock any other chapter, except for the Night Lords when it comes to the Chaos Marines. That's probably gonna be the only other chapter that I unlock. I'm not even gonna get the Ultramarine pack, because I'm one of those guys, when I find out what my style is or who I'm supposed to be running with, that's who I run with. So I took the quiz, found out that I'm Raven Guard, and that's just it. It's gonna be Raven Guard to the death of me. You heard? More in the pros, the game looks hella good, and it looks fun. Like, it looks literally fun as hell to play. It gives off the vibes of that Gears of War vibe, you know, with the classic beat 'em up, like Street of Rage, just going through whooping ass type deal. It gives off those good vibes, and just to even be co-op, that's almost a chef kiss. Cause can you imagine playing through a game with the homies, and y'all all just whooping ass, like y'all going different directions just to meet back up? But I do say, don't do that. Some classes can, some classes can't, but it's kind of built around sticking together somewhere. And even in the store, in the lore and stuff like that, that's what you want. Unless you're a Primarch, don't venture, or just excel in your skills, don't venture off on your own when it comes to Warhammer. Also, that's a pro that's in Space Marines 2. It's gonna be no major microtransactions. I know a lot of people don't like microtransactions because they consider it's pay to win or whatever. But when it comes to the cosmetic, that's the only kind of microtransaction that it will be, and that's customization, cosmetics type stuff. So like different paints and stuff like that. There won't be any weapons or anything. That's all cosmetics when it comes to the transactions, which is a good thing for a lot of people. More into the pros, there's gonna be massive DLC potential. I think right now there is they're doing a live, like a showing of what's going on. It's so much that they can drop as far as DLC, stories, cosmetics, characters, weapons, chapters, like more chapters, which I think they might do. Like, they can literally drop three of the Lawless chapters and drop their successive chapters. So like, the first 3 months we got the Ultramarines. The 4th, 5th, and 6th months they can drop Raven Guard, Iron Fist, Imperial Fist, all their successor classes. Then they can turn around and they can do the other 9 that are in the Lawless legions or whatever, and they can drop. They can bring in the custodians. See that they can bring in They can bring in so much. They can even go back to pre-heresy and bring back the different designs of soldiers or Space Marine armor, power armor that they use. Because I think in Space Marines 2, they're using the Primus power armor rather than the Mark. It's one of them, the Mark 5, I think, that's before the Primus. But they can go back and bring back the Mark 2s, and like I was just saying about the Raven Guard having the beaks like as helmets, having the designs of the wings and stuff like that. It's so much DLC potential there. That's fire. That's fire. Another pro is, I think I said it, as far as not being able to pick the same character as your friend. So kind of basically gives everybody a chance to run a character and whatnot. But that's pretty much it in the review of my review of Space Marines 2. I hope everybody gets it. Like I literally hope everybody get this game so it can literally be game of the year, and so we can talk about this game, really bring in new people to like just like me, bring in new people into the Warhammer world, and just have some fun with this game, because it has the potential to be just that, and that's game of the year, and I can't wait. But until then, we'll just have to wait. But Space Marine 2 is gonna come in 3. You can pre-order it. It's gonna come in 3 different bundles: the standard, the gold, and the ultra. Ultra being digital only. You can only digitally download that, which will include the Warhammer the Ultramarines pack. That's the only difference. And I will say this before I go and close out: if you are trying to play, I advise everybody go to Google, put in which Space Marine Legion or which 40K Legion am I, and take one of those quizzes and find out what's your Space Legion, like what's your Space Marine Legion. And so when you do start the game, you can have kind of like a basis when it comes to like the multiplayer. You can have some type of standpoint, because like just coming in it, looking at the aesthetics, oh, I want to play with them because they're gray, I like the gray, or I like the tint. It's gonna be whack. Like, to me, it's gonna be whack, or it's not gonna be as authentic as you want when you know for sure if you're a Space Wolf, if you're an Ultramarine, if you do it and you come out to be an Ultramarine, you are literally gonna have the most stuff to play with, because the Ultramarine pack is dropping 12 successors. So you literally have different type of stuff that you can put together on a Space Marine. But yes, Space Marine 2 drops September 9th. If you pre-order it, you get the 4-day early access, which is the 5th. You get cosmetics, you get a season pass, and yeah, man, and the chance to tell some tearing its ass. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Once again, I hope you guys all can get it. And yeah, victory or death. Thank you. Until next time. Thank you.